Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Loren Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link. Good morning. I am really putting on the Ritz this morning. Because, man, my energy level is like that. Let me tell you, good morning, all you beautiful people out there. Let's get that out of the way, shall we? Happy hump day. It's Wednesday, the 11th. How did we get here?
Wasn't Thanksgiving like last week? That I'm telling you, I do not like when Thanksgiving is this late in the month because it's like, and Christmas is there. I have not done, okay, I did one thing. I ordered one thing that's here for, I haven't done anything else. Nothing, not a thing. And then I was at a Christmas party last Friday night and he had like 40 gifts under his tree already done. And right, I was like, overachieved much? So anyway, how are things coming with your Christmas shopping? Or is that a dirty phrase and you don't want to hear it? I just don't know. I don't. Are you feeling it this year? I just want to know, is it just me or what? I'm like, I told my husband, we don't have to exchange gifts. We really don't. He goes, too late. I already bought all your stuff. Gift cards. That's all I'm going to say. So anyway, so yeah, I am tired a little bit today. I tell you guys everything. Yesterday, you may have noted. Well, yesterday, let me explain. We had to shut down the show yesterday. No one could hear. And we found out that a secret browser had jumped in from somewhere that we don't even know the name of it. And because it wasn't Chrome, we couldn't be heard across any of the platforms. So we're going to bring yesterday's guest back, Jonathan. We're going to bring him back. We already have him on the books. He'll be here next Wednesday for our Christmas show with the experts, and then again in January for the solo show. So, so sorry about that, but hey, it's a techie world. What can we do, right? But today's guest, hopefully you will be able to hear us. No one is saying they can't. Oh, hi, Dr. Lynn. She's driving and watching. How do you do that? Oh, girl, just listen. Don't watch. Watch the road. Okay? You guys, that's the bell of purpose. You hear it ringing over there? It's not a gimmick. It's not a prop. I prefer to refer to it as an opportunity. Why? Because we're busy people. But listen, don't get so busy ever that you miss the truth when it's right in front of your face. Don't. The truth has a ring to it, just like that bell. That's why it's here. Also here for the last 8 straight years, this chick, Miss Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo, my sidekick. She's my Ed McMahon. And we're drinking. What are we drinking? Some kind of caramel, or if you're bougie, caramel flavored coffee today. Tastes just like regular coffee to me. So anyway, now interesting guest today. She's not one of those people. I see you smiling back there, Grace. Oh, yeah, interesting. It's saying, I know what y'all are thinking. Is that like in the real estate world when a code word, when they say cozy, they really mean small? Or like this one? Remember this one, you guys? No, you should really go out with her. Is she pretty? She has a real nice personality. See what I said? So I said, remember that one? You're like, wait a minute. That's code for. No, when I say our guest is interesting, I mean that. Interesting. Because you can't put a finger on her. She's all over the place. She does all these different things. And she's just the kind of woman, definitely New Yorker. Definitely. You know about New Yorkers, you don't mess with them. Seriously, don't piss off a New Yorker, especially a woman. Dr. Lynn's from the Bronx. She's watching. She's probably tooting her horn right now. You damn Skippy. Right. So very powerful, not afraid to speak their mind. And our guest today, now yesterday, Jonathan, I never say his last name because he has a French last name. I believe Grace does too, if I remember correctly. Like, it's Lovert. I was like, Gerald Levert? No, Lovret. It's Grace Lovret. And I said, good, I'm Dr. Loren Harris. So there you go. There you go. Man, we have some plain old names here in the United States. Jones, Harris, Lovret. Sounds like a... Speaking of, last thing before we look what I got in the mail. Thank you, Ian and Fallon. Both of them were on. You remember, they were the sound people about frequency music and stuff. They go on tour and play all this frequency music, which is what's going on back there, right? But look what they sent me. I got 2 bottles of this yesterday as a gift from them for Christmas. It's meditation spray. Look, and it's got inside this bottle, somehow, they've captured 528 hertz. I don't know how they did that, but it's supposedly in here. So let me spray some because I'm feeling a little... I wonder if I'm supposed to put it on me. No, I'm going to put it in. Now, if you see me start to like, better get some. There you go. Grace, are you ready? Oh, hi, Robert. Hi, Lynn, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Are you ready back there, Miss Grace, to just amaze all these people? I'm not even going to read a bio or anything. We're going to get Grace in here, and we're just going to get this party started. You guys put some bougie hearts on the screen as she clickety clacks down the hallway. Here comes Miss Lovret. Okay, say it.
Hi there.
Say your name.
Oh, okay. It's Grace Lovret.
See, you know, okay, I was putting a little extra on it.
Well, you can. I mean, you know,
Lovret.
technically, it's been said worse. So
It's a great name. Probably butchered half the time.
it is definitely
So, is that a married name?
an ex-married name.
Ex-married name.
As that.
Have you ever been to France?
I have many times.
Many.
My idea of a vacation is Europe. So I've been all over Europe. Love it.
So, did you check out any of the Lovrets over there?
Actually, no. You know, since it's an X, you don't want to
Right.
go there. But I will tell you that my nationality is 100% Italian. And
Oh,
just so for everyone knows, I am a true New Yorker, but I am born and raised in Queens, which is
Queens.
even better.
Yes, Queens. Queens, Long Island.
I am a Queens girl that moved to Long Island. Yes.
Uh-huh. And there's so many things. You cannot pretend like you're from any of those places because they're going to put one question out there. And if you don't answer it exactly right, they know you're lying. I got
Okay.
schooled on a flight once by some girls. They were like, let me tell you how you can tell a real New Yorker.
You can test me all you want. I will say this though, and going back to your whole Christmas thing,
Sure.
you know, I have 3 grandchildren, and when you have 3 grandchildren, Amazon loves you. And if you don't get in the spirit and you don't get those gifts, you're in a lot of trouble.
Oh, why'd you have to bring that up?
I'm
Have
just
you
kidding.
done it?
I'm
Are you
just letting
done?
you know, that's all.
Are you done Christmas shopping, Grace?
Well, Amazon's not. Yes. I mean, I went online and I got lists. My grandchildren all sent me lists, which
I
is
bet they
great.
did.
Yeah. And you just, let your fingers do the walking.
Okay, so let me just ask.
Okay.
So, because I'm not a grandpa, we're gunkles, gay uncles to a couple little kids, and we just give them what we want to. But you all that get these lists, do you give them everything that's on the list, or do you choose from the list?
Well, it's really difficult as a grandparent not to. So let me explain to you how I celebrate Christmas. So Christmas Eve, they all come here, and I have someone come as Santa Claus. And he rings the bell and jingles, and he's got bags full of toys or whatever these
That you bought.
these days. And he sits with the kids and he hands out the gifts. And so just to see the looks on their face, especially when there are certain things on that list that they really want.
Yeah.
And then, yes.
How old are your grandkids? I'm trying to figure out what the hot toys are this year.
So my granddaughter's 13. Her hot toy is not a toy, but clothes and makeup. Clothes and makeup. Yes.
Like grown woman makeup, like Sephora and all that.
Absolutely.
Ooh, okay. That's a pretty penny.
You got to come up with the times here. At least I did. Yeah.
Okay, so the
13-year-olds and 13-year-olds, and now they're into the whole Sephora and dressing up and the eye makeup and it is what it is. Oh my
God! They put makeup on their list.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What else did you get? What was one of the other?
So I have a 10-year-old. And he wanted, you're not going to believe this, he wanted a chess set, but he was very particular as to the chess set that he wanted. It some kind of copper, Amazon has it, it's some sort of a copper soldiers and whatever, and so that was important. And he wanted
that sounds like a collectible.
I don't think so,
No?
but the one of the things that he really wanted is he wanted a Paul Heyman. He's very much into WWE and UFC. Is that the other one? And he's collected every kind of wrestler doll or whatever you want to figure. And he wanted this Paul Heyman and can't find it.
You guys
So
hear that? Paul Heyman. It's a figure, action figure.
yep, it's a figure. He's not a wrestler. I think he's sort of the ringmaster.
Oh, probably a rare
Yes.
piece. Get your hands on that.
But he's obsessed with WWE and he's got every figure you can think of and he can't seem to find this. But I did get him the Yamaha keyboard.
Oh, nice.
He wanted that too, yes.
Okay, you never know. He might be the next Elton John or somebody.
Well, hey, yeah, absolutely. And then I have a 5-year-old.
Oh,
And
there's
he's
a fun
easy. He's easy. He's you buy him jungle gyms and this and that, and so he's.
And then you turn your head and he's playing in the empty boxes.
Yeah, you're right. You're
You know how they do
probably right.
that?
Well, unfortunately, I turn my head and he's on his iPad or whatever you want to call it because kids today, it's
I forget.
unfortunate. And I've coined a phrase and I've used it when I have been on panels, and I call them iKids. We're raising iKids.
That's a great one. So where were you were raised in New York? So what was Christmas like in your Italian family? Large family?
It was the best. I had the most amazing grandparents. They were directly from Italy. And so it used to be my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, everybody would gather Christmas Eve at my grandparents' house. And the fun part was that the adults, if you were 18 and over, you got to sit in the dining room. If you were younger, you sat in the kitchen. And that was the eating part of it. And so, but my grandmother, who absolutely adored us, would come and sit with us in the kitchen. And so
I want you to do something for me, Grace.
Yeah.
The hospital is on the line. You guys don't know this out there, but I think, did I say it already, Grace, that I was at the emergency room last night?
Yes, you did.
Okay, so I was there, and that's them calling. So, Grace, keep talking. I just want to see what they're calling about. And I'm going to pull you in close. The screen is all yours.
Okay.
Here's what I'd like you to tell everybody.
Go ahead.
Let's see. Talk about budget, because you're a financier. Talk about budget and how much do you think is appropriate to spend on let's say you had 3 grandkids?
I do.
Okay, so what's the appropriate amount? By the time you put that out there, I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay, go for it.
Well, I don't know if there is an appropriate amount. I really think it's what people can afford, and not everybody can afford it, and there's no reason why they should feel bad about that. But I think if they find one special gift that their grandchild or their child has asked for, and they can do that, I think that's fine. We don't want to forget that. Christmas is not about gift giving. So, we just, but, budget is really in your pocket, what you can afford.
What you can afford. But so many people, you get going, and then they just, I'm just saying, I mean.
Well, they rack up the credit cards, and whatnot. And look, let me put this out there. I've been in the finance world probably more years than I want to be, but, even wealthy people live above their means sometimes, and I've seen it.
Doggone it.
So, yeah.
Okay. Hold on. This
Sure.
is them again.
All right. Well,
okay, one moment. Because, you disappeared. I thought you hung up on me. Roz, now, next question. If you could have anything in the world for Christmas this year for yourself, what would it be? I'll be back by the time you finish. I promise.
Well, anything. Well, so that's a difficult question because I am not a person who looks for gifts. I think for Christmas and 365, the other 364 days out of the year. I just wish the best for my kids and just being together as a family. Just the health and my daughter is going through stage 4 cancer right now, and there's a lot of wishes there. So I think that's the best answer I can give. I'm not one to want anything in particular. I'm a person that values needs over wants, and that should be in any family. Is what you need is important. What you want, well, that's fluff. But yeah, that's probably my answer to that.
And I trust it was a lovely answer because I heard not one word of it. So I'm like,
Well, I don't know. I hope so, but I mean, we'll see.
well, I have to go. They're like, what time are you coming in for this study? I have to get an ultrasound today. And I'm like, I don't want to go. But anyway, I will. So let's talk about, you were just in Los Angeles. You told me in the green room, it was probably the most wonderful event you've ever been to. Yes. And I think you've been to a boatload.
I have, and I've been on panels at conferences, and most of the time I get asked to speak on finances, and I'm a huge proponent of women, and literacy, and even more so young people. I don't think we teach proper literacy in this financial literacy in the schools today. That's a huge problem we have, but this particular conference was, and I'm a member of the SIE Society, which is Social Impact and Entertainment, which is something I truly believe in. I am chair of the board of Weekly World News, and we have a studio. We're signing on the dotted line soon in Atlantic City. And so I was so amazed at the number of producers, directors, and writers that were there that are making things that will have an impact. And you don't want to take away from the entertainment portion of it. Mm-hmm. And so, but you want to, we need to educate our young people from the age of 2. Mm-hmm. Because that's when their minds start to imagine and create, and we want to put it out there, because we don't want those 2-year-olds to become those mental, depression young adults. And so the content that we present them should be entertaining, but also have an element of education in it.
Oh yeah, edutainment.
Yeah. And the content today there is some, but it's not really out there. And you're not going to get a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old watching documentaries, of course, but we can do it in such a way where it could be fun for them. And so the conference just brought it home. There was just so many parts of it that we can do as a collective to, help bring better. First of all, we need to get them away from the iPad, the iPhone, the anything.
Good luck.
Yeah, well, that's the mission. And so I'm on the board of the foundation, the Mindful Media Foundation, and that's something.
Talk about that.
Yeah,
I followed them today, by the way.
Great foundation. Bobby Alexis is an amazing human being. He founded it. And the purpose of it is to really get kids away from Instagram and TikTok and all those amazing things, and that's in quotes, and bring them back to family, where they actually interact with their family. They do things. Yeah. And we want to stretch that out a little bit for bringing to them, the world of sustainability. And I'm not going to use the term climate change, because I think it's overused. And to me, sometimes it just doesn't make sense. People look at you like, how are you going to change the climate? What my new coin phrase is planet regeneration. And we can teach kids that at a very young age in an animated way, and we can also give them the opportunity to start to communicate that if they're feeling bad about themselves, there's no shame involved. To feeling bad, you can feel bad, but to be able to talk about it and discuss it and give them resources where they can turn. And I mean, these are all things we need to start to do. The schools are starting to wake up and starting to get more and more involved in interactive education, which I believe in, but we still lack in social emotional education.
Yeah, I agree there. I agree. Now, let's just talk about the changes in the wind, if you will. Are there any? Especially when we hear the term financial literacy. Because that's that's what I hear kids, financial literacy, da 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 da, financial literacy month. But when you hear the term, I don't see an image. They don't, in my opinion, they don't explain what financial literacy is well enough. I mean, because it doesn't, it's just like, okay, you understand finance, literacy, you're literate, you understand it, you speak the language, but it changes. I mean, so talk about that. The work you do, how different is it today from, let's say, just 10 years ago?
Well, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, and I'm going to put that out there.
Yeah.
So I was up in Pauling with my granddaughter for the weekend a couple of months ago, and she wanted to do her math homework. And look, I graduated with a degree in accounting, and so I looked at the kind of math she's doing, and I was lost. I mean, I think some of the stuff they're teaching today is like scratching the left side of your head with your right hand. It just doesn't make sense to me because I whizzed through the answer immediately, and in the way
you were taught,
the way I was taught,
old math,
exactly, old math, and so I found that a little bit difficult sitting down with her. I mean, we got the answers. That's not the point. She kind of taught me a little bit, but I think we need to start to simplify. And financial literacy, for a 15-year-old is different than a 10-year-old, is different than a 5-year-old, is different than a 30-year-old. There are a lot of underserved communities, raising children where the parents are not, they're not given any tools to understand budgeting and maybe saving
all that.
And I tell you what I did one time about that, but teaching young people simplistic things. And the one thing we don't think about today, because everyone says, well, these kids, they don't have a checkbook. They will never have a checkbook anymore. Checkbooks are out.
Right.
But they don't look at bank statements, and they don't even go to brick and mortar. Well, they don't even go to brick and mortar banks. Let's think about that.
They don't.
They don't. And crypto is going to be right here.
That was what I was going to next, and ask you if you know anything about it.
I do, but the problem is, that let's take the 30-year-old, that's on that cusp of, not having a real bank to go to or whatever. That at some point they are going to be the caretakers of their parents who do have checkbooks, who do use brick and mortar banks. And so, we really need to kind of say to them, well, okay, this is great. This is your world, but let me teach you a little bit about the world that you may be thrown into if you become the caretaker of your parents. Now, again, at some point that will stop, because the 15-year-old today in 20 years from now is not going to have that issue. But today, but financial literacy has to be taught in different ways, different age groups, and different communities. So I was at a conference which had some very smart people there, very wealth people, investors, and we did sort of a round table. And I said, I presented the issue about our young people and underserved. and giving them the opportunity to understand a little bit about budgeting and saving, and giving the opportunity to do that. And so I sort of gave them a challenge, and I said, how many of you at the table here would be willing to mentor one child every 6 months?
Oh,
And just have them tag along once in a while, or make a phone call and talk to them. And I was stunned because not one of them raised their hands. And it upsets me because I think mentorship should be number one.
why do you think nobody raised their hand, Grace?
You know, in the wealth world, it's a matter of they'd rather write a check
Right.
than
Just
give time.
Right. Then give time.
Yep. And that's a shame. And it bothers me. It really does bother me.
It's so different. I mean, that was me, I mean, especially kids in foster care. Let's use that one because I came out of foster care. No one ever showed me how to balance a checkbook. I didn't know about financial aid for college because the state was my guardian at 17 when I graduated. And so for a full year, I was supposed to just languish until I was, because no one could fill out, my FAFSA and stuff.
Yep.
There was a guardian or parent on there, and the state's not going to do it. So it just seems like, why is it that the financial piece is pushed so far back, like it's not important, when really your quality of life has a lot to do with how you understand finances? You see what I'm saying? I mean, I remember Christmas clubs. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
When you were a kid and they're like, put my mom, take me to the bank to put this in so you'll have money to do Christmas. And then, what kind of things today? Let's talk about this. Young people, that we hear the term entitled a lot, like they just don't understand the value of something. And I know that's true because I mean, I have kids in my family who they think, give me those headphones that are $800 and they don't bat an eye. Like you just go to a tree and pluck it off or something. And I just don't understand. And let me tell you this. When I did a mastermind in Miami last year with my clients, and a lot of them were younger, Gen Z and all those people, they didn't go to the grocery store. They didn't even go to the grocery store. They had everything delivered. I said, when was the last time you walked down the aisle in the grocery store? I go, ooh, I can't even remember. It's been so long. So what kind of world, you know what I'm saying? When your grandkids are our age, will they go to grocery stores? How do you talk to them about finances with it changing so rapidly? How do you talk to them, Grandma?
Well, you can't stop the change. Okay. Because it's worldwide. And so will there be grocery stores? I don't know. Look, in my neighborhood, I see trucks coming by with food, delivered. And I think sometimes it's a matter of convenience. You have two people working in the family. They're raising 2-3 kids, and it's Johnny's got to go to football and Mary's got to go to dance. And so to them, food shopping is like, this is going to take too much of my time. I can just, again, let my fingers do the walking, and I just order it from Whole Foods or wherever.
Well, I get it, but I also think about, remember the family table? Where you sat there and it's like, how was your day? What went on? You go in the kitchen while mom's prepping or dad's prepping or everybody's prepping, and you sit there and I figure, if you don't have time to go to the store, do you have time to make the meal? Do you have time to, I mean, some people don't even go shopping. They just buy the stuff already, like
already made. Yep. So that's one of my passions, is to start to get families to have, even if it's once a week or a weekend, to sit down. And one of the things that I talk to them about when I do talk about, and it's not so much financial literacy, but I talk about sharing with your children. Talk about entitlement, okay? And believe me, we're to blame for that just as much as the next guy, because if again, I'll just use the word Johnny. If Johnny asks for that $800 headset and we give it to them, we've entitled them. So we're to blame for that too. But to sit around the table and share with your children the things that are going on in your life, if you're having financial problems, they need to know that, because then they're not going to ask for that $800 headphone.
Yeah.
And or whatever it is. And in a way, look, you don't have to be totally open, but in a way they need to share with their parents emotional things that are going on with their parents, or if money's tight, or if the dad is having an issue, whatever it is, they need to be able to participate in that. And that's what creates a community or communication with your parents. It also takes away that stigma from the child to be able to talk about how they're feeling.
Exactly.
And that's a problem today. We don't put
there
it out.
You go. Right. And perfect segue. Because I had pulled it up in another screen. I was like, do I ever want to bring this up? But I do, because you're the kind of person I want to talk to about this.
Sure.
Okay. Seriously, because you have grandkids, and what I'm talking about is Luigi Mangione. Everybody's, if you don't know that name, you will before the week's over. He's the suspect in the United.
You don't know that
CEO.
name, you live in a cave.
That's right. Brian Thompson. This was an Ivy League graduate, had 2 Ivy League degrees in his pocket, had this grudge against the healthcare industry. And I know we're talking about finance here today, but that is a part of finance. Because healthcare, have you ever been in the hospital? Anybody get those line items? A box of Kleenex is like $48. The thing you spit in is $100, on and on and on. And we won't even go into the cost of like prescription meds and this and the other. And then those people, seriously, if you've ever had to be on the phone with all those props and all those things that affect your life, your literal life. And this kid does not look like the kind of person you usually see connected to a political killing. So what has gone through your mind? I'm just curious, because I love the way you think. What has gone through your mind as you see this? There's a lot of people, I even said it. I said, I kind of think he's more like a martyr to me, because I've dealt with it with a family member who died because they would not do what they needed to do. And by the time they got to him, he was ashes, And so I'm just saying, people are getting fed up, but this is a young person. His whole life was in front of him.
Yes, but you have to realize he took a life. No one has the right to take someone else's life. And so
I agree with that.
Something was going on with him, whether he was a Harvard graduate or valedictorian, whatever happened back then, something changed him. And it had to be some sort of mental type of episode. Anger is horrible. And there's a saying, and it goes, resentment, anger, is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Yeah.
You can't, he was angry. I get it, but this CEO was not in charge of United Healthcare, the whole system. This system, United Healthcare, has been around forever. And so, he may lead the pack a little bit, but he doesn't make the decisions that United Healthcare itself. They have a board, they have whatever, and it's not just United Healthcare. We're talking Anthem, we're talking Oscar, we're talking. They're all the same. So, to put it in perspective, yes, I think the healthcare system needs to be changed. I wouldn't exactly say that Kennedy is the best person to change that. I think he's a bit, radical when it comes to that. But we do need change. I get that, but not to the point where someone can kill somebody over it. I am
It's
not.
just, yeah, it's just such a sad state of affairs. And the thing is too, like, you say insurance company, well, that includes life insurance, and that's in the finance thing.
Right.
Because I've just recently learned, and it was a 21-year-old who taught me, who said, I'm in the life insurance business. I just want to talk to you. Used to be my personal trainer at the gym. And this kid's making $93,000 a month, right? It's 40 some kids underneath him up in his offices. And I'm like, what in the world? And he was telling me about whole life and about, cash value and all that. And nobody ever taught me any of that. I didn't think I was going to be alive at 30, 40, 50. So why would I need life insurance? Nobody's going to want me. I'm not going to leave anything to anybody. And then that all changed at 50. And the thing is, so you're right. I think it needs to be like a book you get in 4th grade, a class you take in 6th grade or 7th grade. They don't have anything. You can take accounting when you get in high school, but there's nothing about how to build towards financial freedom. See, back in the day, our terminology was retirement. Then I hear now the young people are saying, no, I don't use that word, because most people who say they're going to retire are dead within 6 years. We refer to it as seeking financial freedom. They got a whole nother language for what they're doing. So what do you feel? Retirement, financial freedom? Which one are you headed towards?
Well, I'm at the retirement age right now, so
you don't look like you're slowing down anytime soon.
I'm not, and I don't intend to. That's
neither.
not a word. That's not a word I use, but I do have clients that I do use it with. I look, again, retirement doesn't start at 50 and 60. Okay. Retirement starts the day you get a job. Okay. To prepare you to retire. But life isn't all about retirement. Okay. And what I said before, I mentioned before, is there's a difference between needs and wants. If you can go through life fulfilling your needs, that's good. The wants, if you can afford the wants, that's fantastic. Okay. But your first purpose would be to fulfill your needs, the needs of yourself and the needs of your family. You would be amazed how many people, young people, in their late 20s and early 30s, who now are married or living together, however, have a house, may have a child, that you talk to them about a will, you talk to them about a healthcare proxy, you talk to them about a power of attorney, and they blow it off like, I'm 32. Why would I need that? And it's a shame, because I have a friend of my daughter's who constantly I would remind him, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. And 4 years ago, he was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He was in a wheelchair, lost flexibility. He was a mess. And he had 2 kids, a wife, a house, a business, and nothing. He didn't have a will, a healthcare proxy. And we struggled through that. We really did. So
what is a healthcare proxy? I know somebody's asking, because I did.
Well, you have a husband, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So your husband was in the hospital yesterday.
With me.
Right. Let's say, God forbid, he wasn't conscious in some way, or he wasn't capable of making a medical decision for himself. You would be his healthcare proxy. You would be there to make medical decisions for him.
And that's not automatic, because you're married.
Oh, absolutely. No, the hospital or the doctor has the right, if it's not in writing.
If it's not in writing, they can decide.
Right. It also defines, so part of that healthcare proxy is a living will, which defines what you want in all different. Do you want a feeding tube? Do you want to be revived? Do you want it? And so, do you want to be kept on medication? And so it's so important for people to have their needs put down. in a living will, or what they want. They don't want to be kept alive. And I shouldn't throw this at you right now, but
Why?
it may sound a little callous, but my mother is 100. She's in her 101st year.
She is?
Yes. And so right now, though, she has no memory, no recognition, nothing. About 2 months ago, she couldn't walk anymore, so she's kind of bedridden. And I say to myself, at what point, she's there for me to see her, but that's very hard. It's very
The
difficult
quality of
for me to
right,
watch that. Right. So,
right.
but and it reminds me of my dad, who had a healthcare proxy and a living will, or DNR, however you want to call it. And he collapsed in the house, and my mother couldn't find that DNR. And so they revived him. And for 3 years, he lived like a vegetable in a nursing home.
Oh,
So,
no.
so yes. So it's so important, that we express how we want our life to end.
Yes, absolutely right. I've been getting all these life insurance policies, and then it dawned on me, well, you should put all this stuff together, put it in the safe, go over it, at least the declaration page, so that if something should happen. And here's another thing. We think our neighbors and stuff, everybody's got it together. But how many times in your neighborhood have you seen a sign? We had one a couple weeks ago on the corner, estate sale, down the street to the left. And I always drive to see the house. I don't go in. But why do you think I did not know that estate sales were what they are. When the family can't pay taxes or something, you have to sell everything off. And usually, from what I hear, it's because the person hasn't put things in place. Is that true or not so much?
Well, I don't know if it's been, COVID did a lot of people in because they lost their jobs, or they could go in, or for whatever reason. So there are circumstances where, but I don't know if it's people don't have it in place so much, but they live above their means.
Like taxes and stuff, they say, inheritance tax, and then they end up selling everything.
Right. But, inheritance, you don't pay taxes on. The person that dies pays the tax only if his estate is worth over $13 million, which, in a middle-class neighborhood, I don't think you're going to have that issue.
No, just those ones on the corner, then maybe.
Yeah. But people that have that kind of wealth got it all together. Trust me. They do. But, the middle class, they just sometimes they don't think that, they have to have all these little things in place. And they have to let somebody know where all those little things are in place.
It's just so, and I'm included. I count myself in with this anomaly, if you will. Work for gain. But then afraid of the things that can protect it. You know what I mean? I am just, when you mentioned finance, I had a systems coach a couple years ago, and I was never late for a session until he said, bring your financials next week. We're going to start going through. He didn't see me for about 7 weeks. I was like, my throat hurts. I got an emergency. Anything not to go there. I am not kidding you. I used to be the kind of person, I'm keeping it real. Let my online banking, I was scared shitless half the time to go on there, because I was like, oh, what's it going to say? Is it going to be red? What's going to happen? I'm telling you, why is it, Grace, that so many of us are so damn intimidated by financial literacy? Why do we think we're not good at it? So many of us.
Well, even if the individual is not good at it. So when I mentor, okay, I tell people that one of the things that's so important is they have to have their own board of advisors. Individuals, I mean, just like big corporations, the IBMs, the Metas, whatever you want to call them, have a board of directors. Every individual needs a board of advisors, and a competent board of advisors, which includes
every individual.
Yes.
Wow.
An accountant, a lawyer, your doctor, and your financial advisor. And
Now
they
talk
should
about those two. A lot of people, didn't she say that one already? Accountant, financial advisor. They're
not
not
the
the same.
same.
Talk about
No,
that.
no.
A lot of
So
people think they are.
an accountant will help you do. So I'm both. Okay. Um, so and from my point of view, being both is probably better suited for my clients because I can advise them tax wise and which would be better for investing or financial advice. So, but that happens rarely, and so um, if you have a trusted accountant, a lawyer, your doctor has to be trusted, but he's not going to sync. Excuse me, he's not going to sync with your. But but those three, your accountant, your lawyer, and your financial advisor, should all be talking to each other, okay? Because you are the client and they need to sync. They need to sync and say, okay, like at the end of the year, I'll give you, for instance, if you have an equities portfolio, okay, and your financial advisor is investing for you, well, before the end of the year, your accountant should talk to your financial advisor and say, okay, what capital gains do we have? Let me look at the portfolio. Let me see from a tax perspective if, in fact, we're doing the right thing by this client. And so that's really what's important. And it's also a great system of checks and balances because if your accountant turns out to be a real, I don't want to say it, but
Yeah. A-hole.
Yes, your financial advisor or your lawyer will catch that.
Catch it. Yeah.
And so to me, everyone should have that trusted group behind them. Now, if someone like you, okay, who doesn't get it, who feels a little squeamish about it, well, that's why you have advisors.
Mm-hmm.
Because
So you don't have to worry about it.
well, you don't. You can ask the questions. I mean, a lot of times, the clients that I deal with, I will educate them, but in a simplistic way. I will explain to them what a 1099 from their broker looks like and what it says and what it means. They'll grasp it most of the time, but it makes them feel confident that they're part of it. They get it. Even if they don't get it all, they get it. But they know that if they don't get it or if something happens in the course of the year, they can call me and say, Grace, what do you think? Or what you know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why you have this little board.
Yeah. Do you think, last question, man, this time has flown by. What was I going to ask you? What about the person, a lot of people who didn't get a good start in life, but then they got it together, became somewhat successful, but they feel like they're so far behind, they're embarrassed to take all this shoebox full of receipts or whatever to a person like you, because what will they think of me? That, are you really that dumb that you don't have this stuff in place? You know what I'm saying? How do people what do you suggest people do to get out of their own way and say, just take the stuff in there, just go talk to somebody. They can help you dig yourself out or get better at it so that you know what I mean?
Well, again, they have to feel confident with the person they're going to. And any accountant or financial advisor that has a client that comes in and considers them dumb because they come in with 1,000 receipts shouldn't be their accountant or financial advisor. We're here to educate. We're here to help. That's what we get paid for. And even if we don't get paid for it, that's what makes the world go round. So,
and I've seen it all. You've seen it all.
I've seen it all. And I've had people come in with receipts and it. But what I do at that initial meeting is I will put that all into perspective for them. I will show them how to do an Excel spreadsheet and every month put little things in, doctors, lawyers. And so And if they don't want to do that, well, look, the
Quick,
account will do it for them, without a doubt. And I'm assuming for a fee, of course, but but once they're confident and they feel they're not, you don't make them feel embarrassed, or it's nothing to be embarrassed about. I
Right.
mean, that's why we're the accountant, we're the financial advisor, you're the host, mechanics do what they do. If you bring your car into a BMW or whatever, and you say, I don't know what's wrong with it, does that make you dumb?
Right. No.
No. So, that's why we all have expertise. I mean, you have lawyers who, you can go to a lawyer who's a litigator who's not going to understand corporate. You can go to a doctor who's an orthopedic surgeon who's not going to understand oncology. It is what it is. So there should be no stigma here. There should be no one that feels dumb. I'm going to ask you a question. What's your idea of the American dream?
For me,
Yeah.
because I am big on ancestry. For me, the American dream is that every day when I wake up, I get to lay there before my feet hit the floor and go, now what do I want to do with my day? I get to choose. I get to choose my day, and freedom. That is the American dream. For me, is that I get to literally manifest based on my desires, not what somebody said, get up and go do this, go work in the field, or go do that. For me, that's what it means. It's the American dream, being able to leave the world better than the way I found it, leave the road to opportunity wider than the road that I walked down for the people coming after me, and hopefully to leave a little something that I know to be true somewhere in the world that people can heal from, grow from, and learn from for a long, long time.
So it's not about finances, it's not about
Nope.
success, it's about personal fulfillment.
Yes.
So and personal fulfillment is the path of purpose and passion.
See?
And that is the American dream. And I think
Yeah.
more and more people have that, instead of what we think is all about finance and wealth, and it's personal fulfillment. Everyone should be happy with that.
I love it. See, isn't she something? I told you. Man, if I was ever going to go down a dark alley in New York City, I'd be proud to have you right beside me, because I know ain't nobody going to mess with me. With Grace Lovret right there with me. Thank you so much. Listen,
thank
you guys,
you.
of course, anytime. And I do mean that, anytime. I just love that you're just so real. You're just so real. What you see is what you get, and it's the best thing in the world. I love it. Now, listen, you guys down there, if you want to just hit up, maybe you have a question or two, if you're in the New York area and you're looking for a great financial planner, a great accountant, maybe Grace has some room for you too, or just run a question past her. But you can find her on LinkedIn. That's there. We'll also drop that link inside your comment section for easy access here in a moment at the conclusion of today's broadcast. I want to thank you, Grace. You're a real joy. Seriously. I could hang with you for real.
Well,
I
thank
just
you.
love it. Yes. And have a great holiday. Enjoy those babies, and just have
I
a great.
will, and you too. And I hope your husband is feeling better. And
Thank you.
the best I can leave out there is find your path, purpose, and passion.
There it is. I agree 1000%. Listen, you all, thank you for honoring us by being here today. We couldn't do it without you, and trust me, I don't think I'd want to. Now, get out today and find an E and an R. Take everything you already are from great to greater, bright to brighter, strong to stronger, and my personal favorite, kind to kinder. It's not hard. You're going to wake up renewed, revived, replenished, and remembered to what this journey is really all about. Listen, I'll meet you, God willing, over there tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central on the front porch for yet another illuminated conversation. I'll see you there. Get out today. Make a difference in the world. Ease some suffering. You'll be glad you did. Grace, again, thank you so much. Great job today. I'll see all of you, God willing, tomorrow. Have the best day ever. Bye. Thanks again. Bye, everybody.
Bye.